I can hear really good tonight.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, 6 o'clock. Let's open the meeting.
We don't have a
You
flag.
want to do a call to order?
All in attendance for our regular, public hearing scheduled for 3/4/24 at 6 PM. Mike Kostensky, Lieutenant Sue. Yes?
Yes.
Nick?
Here.
We have a full board.
Okay, so I guess we're gonna,
6 o'clock.
we're gonna skip over the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we got any quick announcements or correspondence? You guys good?
Good.
Okay, so now, a little public comments and questions. Now, we've got 3 minutes, but this is really a public hearing, so does anyone have any comments outside of the hearing?
Is this in regards to the items on the hearing?
No, this is just if there's anything else you needed to talk about.
No.
So now we're going to get into the agenda. So we're going to be doing the first, this is going to be the March 4th, 6 PM one. So Mike, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Yep. So this one is this is going to be approval for Wednesday. This is just a public hearing, and we're going to hear comments. The board's going to hear comments and then questions and whatever you guys have for us. It's a text amendment change, height of structures from 40 feet to 60 feet in town center, highway commercial, integrated commercial, light industrial, and highway or heavy industrial zoning districts.
Okay, so this has got the regional planning.
Yeah, so everything tonight on the meetings started with the zoning commission. Approximately, we talked about it before the meeting, 8 months now in the works. This particular one, we involved the fire department, fire chief, and Ron Goodspeed. Ron attended the meeting and helped us come up with a good height of structures, as well as regional planning, did their due diligence with surrounding communities and what their height is.
So would that be a 3-story?
We're going to 60 foot, which would be, you could do 4.
Covered it as far as
Yeah, both. So we have mutual aid, the fire department explain that. And then as you go up higher, then you got the sprinkler systems that come into play. So.
Because Kent and Talmadge both have.
And Rootstown.
And Rootstown.
Yeah. So,
We'd have 4 ladder trucks.
yeah, and they all come to the party if there was a big fire. I know that, so. Okay, are there any comments?
Could you give me again and review the different areas, like tell me what TC and HC and IC stands for?
Yeah, so TC is town center, HC is highway commercial, IC is integrated commercial, LI is light industrial, and HI is heavy industrial.
Okay. So there's no residential at all in
No.
here?
Town center doesn't allow mixed use.
Town center does have structures going from 40 to 60. The only difference that we have into this, for example, for town center, maximum building height, main building, standard right now is 40 feet, and you could still do 40 feet. And if you decide to go to 60 feet, it goes for every 1 foot vertical requires 2 feet horizontal setbacks to a maximum of 60 feet. So every foot you go up, you got to go 2 foot. The setback becomes greater.
Right.
So, if you're going up higher, it creates more green space is what the board has decided on.
I guess the clarification, question I had was, does town center allow for any mixed use, including residential? So in town center, could you build a mixed use unit where it's apartments on the 3rd
Yes.
or 4th story?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Sort of like they're doing in Kent.
Yes. And in fact, we've been trying, you're talking about maybe I'm misunderstanding. We do allow mixed uses, but the kind of mixed use you're looking for, like in Kent, would be integrated commercial, which we have behind McDonald's with the Skipper Group. And then we have it going all the way down State Route 43. It's a limited density. Town center is very limited density. So you're not going to be able to create that big building with condos or apartments and everything below other than in integrated commercial.
Have you had a lot of questions asking about this?
No, other than we've had a big push from regional as well to try to get that town center, right next to the town center, behind McDonald's. There's been a big push for that area to become that way.
Okay.
I do have a question. So for example, in light industrial areas, specifically on Mago Road, all the other buildings that are in townage are 30 to 40 feet high. So if you put a structure up that would be 60 foot high, that would kind of be an eyesore. It would not be contiguous with everything else through there. And that was one of the things you were talking about in regards to switching that to light industrial to kind of match and blend with townage.
Correct.
So I really don't believe that it would be good in a light industrial zone. And I guess maybe this question might be for Sue. Would you know anything that you could put in that building at 60 foot that you can't put in at 40 feet high?
I would have no idea without doing research on it first.
Okay, because 40 feet is a pretty good height to have, but I don't quite understand what the need is in that light industrial area, specifically on Mago Road.
Yeah, so you're
That high.
that property sold, and there's a permit on the property right now.
A building
And it's a-
permit?
There's a zoning permit, and I believe he's obtaining building permits as we speak. So that one is a
That's
single,
40 feet,
it's a
correct?
single-story building is what he's putting in.
40 feet high?
No, a single story, one story.
So how high is that?
Off the top of my head, at maximum 18 feet.
So he submitted documentation
Correct.
to you
Yes, I have it.
stating that it will not be higher than 20 feet?
I have permits issued to him for a single-story building, correct? And
Which-
the measurements are on the drawings. I don't
Which means
have,
that it will not be over 20 feet high?
yeah, yes, as far as I know. If there's any
Does that go
change,
with- I'm sorry, does that go with the buildings that he's going to put up in the future also? Because you mentioned.
they would be similar in use. So we wouldn't have one building, a single story, and then one at 60 foot. We wouldn't do that. It
So
would,
one building would not be at 20 foot and then the other two buildings be at 60?
Correct. correct.
Okay, so just as long.
But
as
he's
it's not
already,
continuity.
he's already purchased the property. That's a done deal.
Correct.
And he's also has permits on it. And it's, for anybody knowing what it is, it's Mike Wolin Engineering is moving off a card onto Mogador, and he's got a engineering firm going in there. So
Because in regards to that, is it definitive 100%
That-
that will be where his new location is?
he has, I could tell you he has permits on it.
Okay, because he initially purchased the property west of that in hopes to put his engineering firm on each one of those plots of land.
I could tell you that the architecture is done and the engineering's done, and they submitted drawings to me, and we issued permits.
Okay.
Okay, at 6:10, we have to close this public.
6:08.
Yeah, it's at 6:10, we have to close, yeah.
I'm watching this.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else?
But I guess I would just still sit with, I don't think it should be acceptable with light industrial.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for your comments. Okay, well, if we have nothing else, then I'm going to make a motion to close the meeting.
I will second that.
All in favor? Those in favor, Mike? Yes.
Yes,
Sue?
yes.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay, we're closed at 6:08. Okay. Okay, now's our public hearing, 6:10. Okay, call to order, John? Sure.
We have a full board, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
We have a full board.
Okay, announcements, correspondence, probably not. Right, okay, public comments before this agenda? Okay. Okay, Mike, turning it over to you.
Yep, so this is a map amendment change and text amendment change. Change zoning map and resolution text of 13 parcels along Talmadge Road at Maple Crest Parkway subdivision from general commercial to integrated commercial. And this is, if you take a look at the map, this is the area where Taco Bell is and all the fast food restaurants are in the front.
Okay.
It's the only general commercial district that we have left on the map. And then we are putting all the general commercial activities into integrated commercial. So we have one commercial district. We're just trying to simplify the amount of districts we have. With the PRDs and all the maps, we looked at zoning commission, and believe it or not, there's 56 different zoning districts if you count all the PRDs. So we're trying to reduce the amount we have and, keep one commercial district and maybe two. But as we go through, we're trying to simplify, and we still have a ton of residential districts as well. We're going to probably in the future, I don't know if we'll get to it this year because zoning commission has a ton of stuff, but we're looking at maybe merging R3 and R4s and trying to come up with a district for that. The rest of them, we pretty much took care of, like reducing the amount of PRDs because we took it out of OC, RO, RR. We took it out of all those districts. We only allow PRDs in R2, R3, and R4. And if we go take the R3 and R4 and merge, then we're just limiting the amount of districts we have and PRDs. So.
Okay, so this has been through regional.
It's been through regional planning. It was unanimously approved, both zoning commission and at regional.
Okay. Do we have any public comments at this time? You guys have any comments?
No, just,
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we close this meeting.
I'll second that.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Motion passed. We're closed at 6:13.
The next Let's go ahead and get started. Roll call?
All those in attendance for the 6:20 public hearing, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
we have a full board.
Okay, announcements and correspondence, still good. Okay, public comments.
I need Mike.
Okay, and now Mike, talk to us about establishing a park and recreation district in Brimfield Township.
Yep, so that's exactly what it is. It's establishing a new parks and recreation district. There's a whole code section with the elimination of RO and the elimination of general commercial districts. We have some space left in our book. We thought it was a good time to implement and start a parks and recreation district for Cassie to have some kind of regulatory things on there. As you'll see on the schedule of uses, and these were all emailed to you as well for you to review. But on the schedule of uses, there's pretty much everything is a permitted use other than recreational facility use type C, which would be restaurants, lounges, and snack bars. That would have to go to the BZA. All the other stuff would be permitted uses within the district. And then it gives some setback requirements, front and rear side, minimum parking requirements, landscape screening. It's just because we have so many parks now, we thought it would be nice to have some kind of a general guidance. It started off from the Roots Town, and we used pretty much their language and then just tweaked it a little bit with regional planning through zoning commission through the last 8 months, along with Cassie. Cassie was heavily involved in creating this, and that's what we have.
So say, with the McGuire's Park, down in Brimfield, if, say Cassie does eventually get that building renovated into a nature center, what if they want to sell concessions at it, like?
The only thing that they would have to do, they'd have to go to the BZA with that. So and then BZA could put conditions or make sure that it's safeguarded as far as, alcohol or whatever,
Yeah, I'm just thinking, it's like zoos and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
Who knows, maybe we'll have the Brimfield Zoo someday.
No, and then the other thing we wanted to create with this is maybe locate the map, on the map, we have all these zoning districts. Well, this would have its own color-coded districts then too, so you could see all the parks when you look at the
Well, that's
map.
good, because so many people just don't know what parks we have.
Correct.
Did you know offhand just how many acres we have in parks right now?
Yep.
That's a good one for Cassie. I could tell you that the
100 and
book,
something,
yeah,
It's at least 150.
100 and maybe 23. I can't
No,
remember.
it's more. With McGuire Park coming in, we hit
Yeah, she gave it-
150.
well, McGuire Park alone is over 40 acres.
Yeah.
I think Cranberry's 30, Winter Hills is 6,
This one's at 28.
28. I don't know, it's hard to keep track. Remember when
And
we
Warner's Corners is 7 or 8 acres,
67?
and Metzner's is another whatever,
I don't know what that's.
in Lions Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good. We've got
I think we have
setting
most
aside
of-
green space for
We
our
sure do.
people.
It's a great thing.
I don't think a lot of people knows how much there is. A lot of people live in the township, don't have any idea what all this is.
And I think Cassie's been sort of cautious with the McGuire's Park and Messner Acres because she did have it all cleaned. Messner's Acres cleaned up, got all of those tires, everything's out of there. So she's ready to develop that. And then Mike has put together a thing to help us get McGuire's Park ready to go, so.
You need to get a
And
road.
it's kind of safeguards it too. It's you got, depending on your use, like if you got a driving range, it gives you one setback. If you have a temporary fair, it gives you, accessory buildings, different setbacks. It's just to protect neighboring properties as well.
I think you guys started marketing as such, like we have 125 or 140
We
acres.
can't we just don't need people on a couple of these places walking around till we get it.
There's no place to park
No
established.
place established.
They're not
Two of the parks just aren't open to the public yet because they haven't been, A, there's no parking, and B, we haven't set up walking
But we
areas.
do occasionally, I think last year, we do, once or twice we opened it up. Just look on Facebook, because we open it up and let people in there, we give them tours and stuff.
Yeah, it was a guided tour that Cassie did over at McGuire twice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful park. I don't know if you've ever been back there as a kid or anything. It's about a 7-acre lake, stocked with fish, and it's beautiful trails, and it's not just flat, there's ups, downs.
Well, it has about a-
Mesner Acres,
Yep, it's
That's a
beautiful.
wildlife one
Date
too.
for finale, for it to open.
This year, we're
This
pushing,
year.
yeah.
We need your road. So we
As soon as we
have-
get the road in, then we can start doing it. I
And
mean,
Mesler's Acre is
we-
pretty close too,
Yeah, it's
and that's
pretty
nice because that's a good, there's some hiking trail back there they can be in and then bird viewing.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We have the
pretty.
road for McGuire Park at regional planning. So Mike's done with the survey and we've got the agreement as far as the swap. And then we have approval to grade onto property of the VA Center. So they're giving us a temporary grading easement. And then we're gonna also give them a temporary grading easement on the other side. So the trustees will see that agreement coming forward, just so that we're not purchasing and they're not purchasing land back and forth. We'll let them grade and then they're gonna let us grade and it's been nice, yeah.
And we did start some stuff back there, Jimmy. We did start water management. We hired a company because, for all these years, it's just been, it's not a cesspool, just, how a lake gets after not being treated. So it's being done right now, because you have to actually start almost a year before to start building it up to where it needs to be. Because
That's kind of the grassroots of Brimfield, the outdoors aspect,
oh, it's beautiful.
the rural area that we're in.
Yeah, go take a walk. over
You're
there.
gonna see a lot of rural coming up because the zoning commission with this, we're currently, even the next meeting, you might want to attend at zoning commission level because for future land use plan, we're looking at creating more agriculture. Right now, we're at more than we had 40 years ago, but the zoning commission and coming back and all the survey results is pushing for, more agriculture even than that. So we could push the limits where we have more agriculture than Brimfield has ever had.
Did I hear you correctly? We have more now than we did
40 years ago, that is correct.
Seriously?
Seriously. And then we're pushing to get it even more. So it's just creating the right districts and making it right. So
Well, you've done a great job of that, part, Rick.
sure, thank you.
So, I'm anxious to see it. Why, actually, you can sneak on back there, no one will.
Don't be encouraged.
No, I'm not encouraging anybody.
I'm not covering any liability when you fall back there. We're not open.
Yeah,
So,
well, it is beautiful. I mean, I like all of our parks, but there's an overlook that's at the highest point. It actually looks out over the lake. So it's.
A lot of wildlife in there too.
Oh, yeah, a lot of deer, man, jeez. And they're not used to humans, so you walk by them and they're jumping up at you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people walk back into those apartments.
Yeah, I guess Talmadge, because that's that Talmadge area over there, and a lot of people walk back there, so we're gonna have to, that's why we gotta get it done.
for Brimfield's liability, they were trespassing,
Right.
so.
But there
I don't
are,
have to do with them being back there.
yeah, because there's a couple buildings he has that look like they're ready to fall down, and they're just stuffed with junk.
How many acres is all together there? Do you know?
I thought it was 123, but Cassie, or Sue thinks it's more.
So there or at the McGuire, at that part? Which one are you talking
The
about?
one there,
It's 40. So 40.
40 acres.
Well, I went by back when we had snow, when I left. I went by the sled riding hill that everyone said no.
There was no snow on the sled
Well,
riding hill.
No, when there was snow, and everyone said that we would never use the sled riding hill, the place was packed.
Was it?
Probably because we had so little snow in Ohio, when it snowed.
One day.
Yeah. It was good to see people not on the
snow machine.
Good idea.
We're accepting donations.
I think like a ski lift would be great there.
That hill is rough to walk back up after you go down.
That's good. You got your steps in that day.
Yeah.
I know my grandson came up from Florida, over when he was smaller, and he'd never seen snow before. We had big snow, and the kids had been out on the field, so it was pretty well packed down. And I put him on one of those plastic slogging things and gave him a little shove. He went all the way out into the weeds, and snow was blowing everywhere. You couldn't see him. And I thought, oh boy. His first time down the hill, first time it snowed, he just got snow in his face. Okay, never going down the hill.
Did he like it?
Yeah, he got up and he came back up and said, I want to go again, Papa. Okay.
My granddaughter called me Papa for the first time out in Florida.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I get up to drink coffee, because at 5 o'clock, 'cause I can't sleep, and then all of a sudden, we get these little louvers in the door, and I hear, Papa? That's great. Okay.
6:30, I want to end this meeting.
Okay, we did that.
Are you responsible
Did we?
for maintaining those?
Right?
We didn't.
John, we didn't.
I'll make a motion.
Is
to end the
Rupert
meeting.
gonna-
I'll second that.
Be responsible
You're gonna make a
for
motion to open the
maintaining
meeting?
the parks?
Well,
I believe
All those
it goes
in
under,
favor, Mike? Yes. Sue?
Yes,
yes. Give it 1 minute for Joe to catch up
Six-
on the
Yes.
computer.
6:30, we were closed.
Sorry, Joe.
Because Joe's got to shut down and then restart another one.
We're gonna be late. We're not really. We're pretty close. We good?
I'm not hearing him yell at us, so yeah, we should be all right.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion that we open up the next meeting.
second.
Call to order.
The board in attendance, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes,
Nick?
Yes.
We have a full board.
Okay, announcements, correspondence.
Yes, I have a question. I was kind of asking you before, who's responsible for maintaining the parks? Is that going to be Rupert and his crew, or how's that go?
Right, it's work of the road department.
Okay.
Okay, any other public comments and questions? We're all good? Okay, and now the agenda. Approval of agenda. You want me to read this, Mike, or?
sure.
Okay, approval needed zoning text amendment change addition of D to the below zoning resolution. Section 540, temporary use permit, temporary use such as fairs and other temporary sales and services where permitted in appropriate districts shall be permitted upon compliance with the plan requirement below. Zoning text amendment and change resolution section 540.00 temporary use permits to add D. No temporary use permit shall be issued for a vacant lot. Okay, Mike?
Yeah, so this was brought up, actually, I think Clyde, you brought this up to the zoning commission, one of the meetings, and then we explored it, tweaked it for several months, went back to regional planning for language, and then it is up to you guys now. So they are here. This is not, the temporary use does not come the main use of the site. So for example, the gun shop is the primary use, and the accessory use would be, sale of ribs or hot dogs. So if there's not a main structure and it's just a vacant lot, it eliminates, a temporary vendor from just setting up on a vacant lot.
Main structure meaning an operating structure, or if it could just be a outbuilding that's on that property?
There's got to be a primary use, primary building, or, whether it's a school or it's the Kelso house, there's got to be a primary structure, and then this would be accessory too. So,
If they own two lots, lot one has primary structure, lot two, they put a vendor up there for temporary use for whatever event. Is this going to exclude that then? Because that lot does not.
Technically would, unless they seek the variance, because that would be a special condition. Like if they had two lots and they were contiguous, but they're separate, I would advise them to go to the BZA on that.
And then they'd have to pay a
$250.
Okay.
So what brought this, how was this all brought out?
Clyde brought it up. He didn't, and the board unanimously approved it. And then it went to regional, unanimously approved it. This just so that a temporary vendor can't just set up on a vacant lot. Let's say there's a vacant parcel next to Panera Bread down there, and somebody just set up a hot dog stand there, and that becomes the primary use.
Okay, but they would still have to get, there's an owner somewhere for that property.
Right, they need an owner's signature and all that, but they're looking at, since it's a temporary use, it should be secondary to the primary use. The primary use should still be whatever is granted and the building is there for,
Okay.
What this brought up was, you might as well tell it, is, Joe down there, Joe's barbecue, he's been there 5 years, okay? And it turned into a problem, but now he's gonna build up building. That's what we don't want to happen again. We don't want Bill to go down there, put a hot dog stand somewhere, and stay there for the next 5 years. So,
Thought we had provisions in place for that already.
You have 90-day permits per year, so.
Okay. That's good. Do we have any more public comments? Okay. If there's no more public comments, I'll make the motion that we close this meeting.
Second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. We're closed at 6:35.
So
That
that
you
should
have
be.
the fire department.
He's going soon, I think. Call to order, John.
Do we have a board for the 6:40 public hearing? All in attendance, Mike,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
We have a full board.
Any announcements and correspondence? Okay. Now's the time for the public comments and questions. This is the approval needed for the map amendment change of 16 parcels along Magado Road in Sunnybrook from residential office RO to R2. Okay.
Okay, so what has happened here is the RO district is what Mesner used to call a transitional district. We're not quite sure what that meant. But, you know, I sat through regional planning meetings with Todd, and we understand he was like in a transition to something else. We just don't know what that else was going to be through the years. So we brought it up to zoning commission because we don't want to spot zone and only have one spot in the whole map that's RO. And there's really nothing in the RO that can't be taken in any residential home. You can get a home-based business, apply to the BZA, and, you know, be granted an architectural or design, whatever your home-based business is, you can still do that. So with that being said, initially they were talking about the zoning commission sent it to regional planning as an LI district because there's LI across the street, and they thought, well, maybe we could make it that, but we left it up to regional to come up with what's the best use, what are we here for, what is in this area. And they came back and they says, no, we don't recommend that. Plus, we have petitions from before when zoning was changed, and there's 16 parcels there. Every single one of them is a residential non-conforming use within the districts. So you don't want to go to LI. So you want to go to R2 because R2 fits the profile of what those homes are. And also there's a petition to stay residential. So zoning commission agreed and approved it, and that's why it's here.
Do we have any public comments, questions? Okay, so there was a petition and
Regional planning said they found old petitions on all those properties requesting to stay residential in that area.
I do sort of remember that.
What's that?
I do sort of remember that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess this is, I mean, you're sort of protecting the residents, which is.
Yeah, they're all coming from, to conforming uses. So everything is, there's no businesses in there. They're all homes.
Say if somebody wants to start a little business, are they allowed?
They could come and apply, and then they go to the BZA for a home-based business. And then what the BZA usually requires is traffic patterns. They don't want to create any kind of nuisance for the neighbors. So if it's just an architectural firm or design, they look at distances and make sure headlights aren't going into the neighboring properties or people are coming and going all hours of the night.
Okay.
But we have a lot of home-based businesses that come forward to the BZA, and there's conditions put on them. And
I don't really want to impact home-based businesses.
no, a lot of people are working from homes.
Are there any home-based businesses on those 16 parcels currently?
I believe there's one.
Well, what
I
I
think it's
learned,
where the old Hemling thing was, yeah, over there. So,
what I learned and stuck with me on these properties here, being that they were zoned what they were, is that the residents, they want to improve their properties, and they would go to the bank and say, hey, how about giving me a loan so I can improve my property? They couldn't get the loans because of the zoning area that they were in. And when we put this all back to being a residential home, they will be able to go ahead and that opens that up for them. And so, that's good for the residents to have that,
So
to
that
be
means
able to do that.
same time we had in Old Forge, right?
yeah, we do. I mean, it's all over town. We're correcting it as we go.
Tom Sargent.
If there's no,
Tom
you know,
Sargent's area.
the wish list, we're trying to narrow down. Like, if we know an area has water sewer capability and it's not, $7 million to bring it, we'll market what it is. And if it's all residential homes and there's no future of ever going commercial in the next 20, 30 years, then we'll market residential.
Are those 16 lots, those are good sized lots, aren't they?
Yeah. So they all fit within the R2 zoning code. minimum lot size for our, well, let's see, this is. RO existing was minimum of half acre lots, and then they're moving to an R2.
They seem to have some depth to them, so,
Yeah, they're like bowling alley lots.
okay. You got any more comments? Nick, you guys, Sue,
No,
you good? Okay. And I'll make a motion that we close this meeting.
Second that.
All those in favor, Mike?
Yes.
Sue?
yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Motion passed. We close at 6:45.
Did I get them all?
That's
You
it.
got them all.